January 11th, and I am heading up to Choctaw Casino in Durant, Oklahoma. I'm going to be playing in the World Series of Poker Circuit main event tomorrow, and I'm going to go ahead and try to satellite in today. Last year, 2017, in the WSOP Circuit at Durant, I did really well. I played in 4 tournaments. I cashed in 3 of them, only didn't cash in 1. One of the ones that I cashed in was the satellite to the main, so I got an entry to the main for $240. I didn't cash in the main. I did cash in the 6 max, and I cashed in just a generic 365 ring event. But I did real well last year, and I sure hope that I do well this year too. Just going over the rules for the 4 p.m. satellite, which I'm going to jump into and hopefully get a cheap entry to the main event. Well, hot day, my friends. I won what I would call the stupid game. They call a one-hand mega. So $170, 10 players, everybody gets a hand, nobody bets, they just turn it over, and whoever wins gets an entry into the main event. I won. I had pocket 9s, flop what was 9, queen, king, and somebody had flopped straight, they had 10 jack, and the board paired on the end, so I got the full house. Ooh, it's a lot better to pay $170 for the main event than $1675. This is my winning voucher that shows I won $1675 plus a $25 in cash for $170. I'm so dang lucky. I hope it stays. If I can keep running good like this in the tournament, maybe I'll just take the thing down. So anyhow, I'm just about to go in and start the World Series of Poker Choctaw main event, day 1. Just thinking one more time just how blessed and lucky I am. I live in a great country. I get to play a game to have fun. I earn money that way. It's just kind of ridiculous. It's the first break. Pretty uneventful. That was the end of level 3. I started with 20,000. I have 20,600. Pretty tough table. I got 4 or 5 pros at my table, some good players, but hanging in there, just playing tight. Didn't play very many hands, so let's hope I get some better cards this time. Well, I'm out of the main event. Geez, I couldn't have run any worse today, at least in the regular tournament. Oh, I could have had so many chips. We'll go over the hands here in a minute. Okay, this first hand is one of the worst beats I've had in a long time. I'm under the gun with pocket queens. Blinds are 150 and 300 with a 25 ante. I raised to 800, 2 middle position callers, and the button raises to 2100. Button had 10,400 total. The blinds both fold, and then I call, and both middle position players call. So there's 93.85 in the pot, and the flop comes 10, 10, 10. Now I'm first. I know the button's going to shove because he's just about got a pot-sized bet left. If he has aces or kings, he has aces or kings. So I check, the 2 middle position players check, and he does shove all in for 8,300. Of course, I shove behind him to get the other players out, and they both fold. He shows ace of clubs, queen of diamonds. So there's no waiting. The turn is the 4th 10, and now he has 4 10s with an ace kicker, and I can't beat him. It was irrelevant what the river was. Ugh. Instead of having, so I went down to like 8,500 instead of having 34,000 on that one. from a number of outs perspective, it wasn't as bad as I've been beat before on a 1-outer or 2-outer, because he did have 4 outs. It just was the situation that made it just awful. So eventually I got down to 17,200 when this hand happened. It's still 150,300 with a 25 ante. I'm under the gun +1 with 7-8 of diamonds. I make it 800. Skylar Thornton, who's a really aggressive pro, calls, and then there was a short stack in the big blind who went all in for 2,100. I thought about it a little bit. I ended up making the call, and Skylar made the call also. So there's 69.50 in the pot, and the flop comes 5 of diamonds, 7 of clubs, 9 of diamonds. A very good flop for me. But I check over to Skylar. He bets 2,000. I shove all in, and he folds. The all-in player turned over ace of clubs, 10 of clubs. I hit the 4 of diamonds on the turn for the flush, and the rest was irrelevant. I won a good pot. So I had worked my way back up to having about 18K. A new player comes to the table. He's under the gun. It's 150,300 still with a 25 ante still, and I have pocket queens again. The new player bets 1,000. I had seen him before. He's an aggressive player. He's a pro. I decided to call, and we were the only 2 players. So the flop, there's 2,375 in the pot, and the flop comes 10 of hearts, 8 of clubs, 5 of hearts, and we both check. In retrospect, this is a mistake. I shouldn't have checked with an overpair to the board. The turn was the 9 of hearts. I let out for 2,200, and he called. So now the river, there's 67.75 in the pot, and the river is a queen. So it makes me a set of queens, but there's a 4 straight on the board. He bets 5,000. Again, he's a really aggressive guy. I've seen him play before. He could have done that with 2 pair. I made the call, and he had ace jack and took the pot from me. So I pretty much stayed at about 20 big blinds for a long time, a number of levels, and finally blinds were 250,500 with a 75 ante, and I had 6,500 in the big blind with king of clubs, queen of diamonds. The under the gun player, who had the big stack, raises to 2,500. Now he had been caught twice, once raising with 6 deuce offsuit, once raising with jack 5. He was raising on my big blind almost every single time. So when he raised 2,500, it didn't mean much to me. So I shoved for the 6,500, and he ended up calling with not a great hand, ace of hearts, 6 of hearts, but it was enough as the board ran out 5 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, 6 of clubs, 4 of clubs, 9 of diamonds, and I was out of the main event. So I had backers in this event, and I want to really thank, you'll know who you are by first name, Randall, Dane, Jimmy, Joe, Morgan, and Billy. I thank you guys for backing me. I ran so poorly. If I had run even decent, I'd still be in the tournament and bagging up tonight. So it wasn't that it was a bad investment. It was just I ran so poorly. We'll get him with the next one. We hit the Omaha bad beat. I've never been a part of one before. We didn't get a whole lot, but it's better than nothing. Oh my gosh, we had to wait 2.5 hours to get paid for the bad beat. And the bad beat hit at 1 o'clock in the morning. So we had to wait till 3:30. Then I had to drive home to Denton, which is an hour and 45 minutes away. It was pretty much miserable. And the final fantastic roller coaster ride of the weekend was my Vikings on the final play of the game, beating the Saints on an It was the Minneapolis Miracle. It was fantastic. I jumped up and down for 5 minutes. It was ridiculous. And it's about time that the Vikings won one of those games. We have suffered so many horrible losses, 0-4 in Super Bowls. But this year, this is the year. I think this is it. We're going to do it. Skol Vikings!